one weekend, but when we started, like the next one I'm on, it does feel like it's been forever.
The positives about that is that it's made me become very detached from this franchise of a basketball team and made me not really care that much.
What you mean when you skip a pod or just?
I mean, just like the last week of events and stuff. I check my phone. I'm like, oh yeah, the Sixers are still a team. And like, oh, everything is
worse than when you left.
Are we in there? Are we live?
Yeah.
We're live.
Oh, I thought CJ was still setting the destinations.
Oh, no.
I didn't know how long that takes.
No.
Destinations are so sad right
Putting
now.
us into MapQuest.
Yeah.
Knowing where we're going. I'm just in the backseat asking us to stop to pee. Peeing at an Arby's.
I had the.
That's your pee choice? Arby's?
No, I like the Roy Rogers on the Turnpike.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I always want to stop.
There's still freestanding Roy Rogers in Maryland, I believe. That's the only place I've seen them. The non-Turnpike ones. The Roy Rogers in front of the Granite Run Mall. That was my spot, man. Fixin's Bar. Fucking bacon cheeseburger guy. Fried chicken was really good there.
Yeah, you got to go chicken.
I was a big Royce guy. The bacon cheeseburger was good. You had the Fixin's Bar. Just fucking lettuce and tomatoes and pickles sitting out all day long.
That's what you want.
Yes.
You got to get that.
Yep.
You guys check on this? You guys refresh this? Give it a spritz?
Give it a spritz.
Probably that'll do it? Okay. Thank you.
And then there was, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember what was it at Wendy's? Wendy's had this like all you can eat like buffet thing that had spaghetti and tacos in it. Wendy's did back in the day. It was the
Wendy's
Super Bar.
spaghetti.
The Super Bar. The Super Bar had spaghetti with meat sauce and had tacos, and you could eat as much as you want. The Wendy's Super Bar.
This was like a separate section of the restaurant?
Uh-huh. Well, not a separate section. It was there's the regular Wendy's, but then on the side, there was the Super Bar that you could buy for whatever,
right.
And you could have like unlimited spaghetti and meat sauce.
Sounds disgusting.
Tacos.
Don't remember that.
Yeah. It does sound pretty gross when you think about it, right? Yeah. Ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by Draftkings Sportsbook. Sign up for Draftkings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS. And brought to you by Kornblau and Kornblau, the official law firm of the process. Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process. 302-864-86430. And Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka, the official sponsor of the Corner 3 newsletter with Zoe. Subscribe at rightstorickysanchez.com/newsletter. On the show today, this is the worst start to a season we've ever had, and we've had a lot of bad starts to the season. A promising offseason has led us to a 1-6 record. Joel Embiid hasn't played yet. Paul George has only played 2 games, and now Tyrese Maxey is out for 2 or 3 weeks. So everything's great. This is finally the fucking year. Before we get going, this is from Kate. This is the shout-out section. Kate says, my husband Ryan has been a loyal listener for years, and his birthday is coming up on November 9th. About a month ago, he turned to me and said, hey, you know what you can do for my birthday that would bring me so much joy and doesn't cost any money? You can email the guys from the Ricky and ask them to give me a birthday shout out on their
This
podcast.
does cost money, by the way.
Yes.
Give us $100.
Yeah. I told Kate. She Venmo'd me.
Thank you.
So Kate says, so here I am 5 days before his birthday after sitting with this information for an entire month, writing to ask, would it be possible to say happy birthday or anything to Ryan on one of your upcoming episodes? So here we go. Happy birthday to Ryan from Kate. It's not free, as Mike said.
No.
And we will send you a monthly bill after the $100 is just the initiation.
Yeah, that's like a signing bonus.
Yeah, it's monthly. Happy birthday, man! Happy birthday! And boy, you've got quite a wife to, I guess, just send a fucking email. But email strangers asking for this. So happy birthday, and I wish you years and years of happy marriage. 2 new pods this week from the Ricky family of pods. New Draft Council celebrating the start of the college basketball season. Ahmed and Dan stayed up and watched as much as they can, like fucking psychos, and they talked about all of it. You can search for it, get it wherever you get your podcasts. Brand new Carl Landry Record Club. For the first time, we did a Taylor Swift record. As I put it off as long as possible. So we did Taylor Swift Tortured Poets Department. We did a soundtrack from Jimmy Cliff. What is it? The Harder They Fall. The Harder They Fall, and a new song from Gracie Abrams, which I think is great. You can get it wherever you get your podcasts. Carl Landry Record Club, and Carl Landry Record Club Live is November 20th at Underground Arts with Jason, our friend Jason Lipschitz, celebrating the release of his new book. It starts with one about Lincoln Park. We're giving away a pair of tickets, and that pair of tickets will come with a book as well. We will put the link in the chat if you're in the chat. If you're just listening to the pod or watching on YouTube, the link to enter will be right there, and we'll give them away by this weekend. So all you need is your name and your email address. You put it right in there. I did mention Surfside iced tea and vodka. Love Surfside. Absolutely love Surfside. The official drink, the official alcoholic beverage of Philly sports. So whether you're watching Birds on the weekend, whether you're, for some fucking reason, watching the Sixers, or if you're just hanging out, you need a canned alcoholic beverage. Surfside iced tea and vodka is the one. It tastes the best, whatever variety it is, whether it's the iced tea and vodka, the lemonade, iced tea and vodka, the raspberry tea and vodka, the green tea and vodka, whatever it is. It's only got 100 calories, 3 grams of sugar, and no bubbles, because iced tea should not have carbonation. You can get it at statesidevodka.com, or now, if you're in PA, you don't have to, Jersey already had this, but if you're in PA, you don't have to go to a liquor store anymore. They have a beer distributor wherever they sell booze. So supermarket or gas station or wherever, they have Surfside all over there. You got to be 21, but you also have to enjoy it. Without any further ado, Amos and the Chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Eskin, along with a guy who wishes it was still August. We all wish it was still August. As one, Mike Levin.
Man.
It's not really going how we planned.
No, it really is such a unplug the console.
Start to the season, yeah.
Just restart it.
Yeah.
Blow on the fucking cartridge.
Yep.
Do anything
but
restart it. But it's a little bit, in the last podcast, the voicemails, and then seeing the people online, like I see people be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really even hard for me to be pissed because it just feels like none of this should count.
Right.
Like with the Embiid not being ready, the Paul George injury, then the, election being an absolute fucking nightmare, and then me being, I've just been working so late that I haven't really been able to watch that many games live. I was supposed to go to the game last night, couldn't make it there. And now Maxey's hamstring. It's a little bit just like, well, like, of course. It'd be like getting mad at a body for not being able to, like, dance well if you took out their heart and their both legs.
Right.
It's like, well, there's no heart and there's no legs, so they're not going to be great at dancing. I don't know what you expect.
Yeah, after I watched I watched the first 6 minutes of the game live last night, woke up, saw the score, watched the game this morning. And I wanted to walk away saying, well, Nick Nurse has to da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff where it's like, oh, Caleb Martin should be better. And I couldn't get up any of the will to do it because it actually, you could say little things that are true, but it actually doesn't matter in the way that you want it to.
Yeah.
If this were a game if these were games in the middle of the year where Embiid wasn't playing or George wasn't playing and they had been playing for 40 games and they stunk, you could do it that way. But doing it this way, it does feel like the season has not even started yet, but we have all the misery of a bad season without the season having started yet. I don't know. It's one of the most confusing emotionally, and I understand why people are so mad because it sucks. Like I get AU wrote what I thought was a good piece on RiceRickySanchez.com this morning that we sent out to everybody. You can subscribe to everything, RiceRickySanchez.com. But and the title was like, it shouldn't be this bad. But he couldn't quite nail down in the article what it was that was making it so bad, because the obvious thing is like the good players either aren't there or just got there or aren't gone yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I agree. Like we should have enough good players to make it not this bad. But what difference does that really make? If we were 2-5 rather than 1-6, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it'd make a little bit of a difference. It'd be a little bit nice. Yeah, it would have been nice to win that Phoenix game. Obviously, Paul George was super rusty. Maxey got hot. Would have been nice for Maxey to, get some of those shots up towards the end of the game. That was a bummer. And then Paul George plays great, I thought.
Yes.
In the Clippers game, hit a ton of tough shots, got to the rim.
Very smooth, I thought.
So smooth, dude. It's such a pleasure to watch him be that smooth. We've never had anybody like that.
Just like stand there. Maxey has to when Maxey takes a step back, it's pretty drastic because he's short. So he has to dribble hard and really step back far. Whereas Paul George, because he's 6'8", really just has to step back a little bit to shoot a three.
Yeah.
And even defensively, because I was excited about his play in the first half against the Clippers too. Even defensively, getting just very quietly, Covington-esque almost, defensively, getting his hand into passing lanes. Yeah. But then when he gets his hand in the passing lane, he can actually dribble it, which is different than Covington.
It is kind of a cool thing. The combination of shooting, attacking, handle, smoothness, deflections on defense, versatility on defense. He's just great, and he is smooth and he does glide, and you know what? He's almost a little bit Bobby Abreu-esque if you think about it.
Worst.
If you think about it, he's almost a little bit kind of Abreu. I think I see some Bobby in him.
You will not stop.
I'll never stop. Yeah, I mean, he was super rusty in that Phoenix game. Just was missing shots. Rusty in a different way, I would say, in the Clippers game, in that they turned the ball over 20 times, and I think they had a lot of them in the first half and into the third quarter, and it was just frustrating watching them. Man, they could be getting good looks if they weren't throwing the ball at Drummond's knees.
Yeah.
Or Eric Gordon was mishandling ball. Eric Gordon shouldn't have 4 turnovers. And there were just a bunch of weird little things of these guys just haven't played together that much. And it's a bunch of new guys on the team. And offensively, this is where the Nick Nurse criticism comes in. It's just you wish there was something. I understand why there's nothing, but you do wish there was something. You do wish that there was okay, there's enough veterans and athletes and shooters, and
there's not that many shooters really.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying guys that are hitting shots, but they are shooting the shots. It's not they're running great sets and getting the ball to a shooter and they go, missed it.
Right.
It happens. Good luck. It's they're just not really running anything. It's just kind of, it looks really, really slow and really ISO heavy. And once again, last night they had 19 assists. the game before was at least decent at 27. I think that's their season high, but they're still like well below any other reasonable team because they're just not used to playing with each other, and there's nothing. They're not now that it's Maxey and George, and again, it's not going to be Maxey for like 2 weeks. Seems like the hamstring is not like it's a very dangerous injury, the kind of thing that could bother you forever. So I think they are, exercising caution. I do think it's probably like if it was the playoffs, he'd play, but let's take it easy.
I think that the worst thing about the hamstring is it feels better before it's ready.
Yeah.
And you can't test to see if it's ready without testing it, and that's how you re-injure it. So you almost have to wait extra.
Yeah.
To actually be sure that it's okay. So they said they'd reevaluate him in a week.
Totally.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, it doesn't mind, but like you start to look and it's like, okay, they're 1-6. Embiid's not going to be back for a couple more games. Like if they
Probably
start
gonna
the
be 1-8.
season 1-10, which is reasonable.
yeah, because they could lose to New York even with Embiid, and
Absolutely.
then if Embiid and George play on Tuesday, that means neither of them, we assume, are playing Wednesday against the Cavs.
It's just like it's 82 games. If you put yourself in the hole 10 games down, you really got to be good for those other games, and that's not a guarantee of health. So it's definitely building themselves a deep hole. I don't think it's like impossible for them to get out of it. But the way they're playing, it's like this is just all very unfortunate, and that's why I would love to just
Reset.
throw the Xbox into the snow and just order a new one and just see if there's any sort of like, is the warranty still good on it? Because does it cover being thrown into the snow outside?
You bring it back into the store, and they're like, "Sir,
Sorry, it came like this.
yeah, but sir, it's wet and cold." And
Yeah,
it's in
I know. I thought
15
that was weird too.
pieces.
So you see the problem.
All right, I'm going to give you my best attempt at positivity right after the DraftKings thing. My best attempt. I'm going to do whatever I can for it. The Rice Ricky Sanchez podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, you know what Tuesday is, Mike. Then this will get into the DraftKings thing. It's not only Embiid's first game, but it is the first game of the NBA Cup. That's
It is? That's
Yes.
quick.
Yes. Well, remember, there's all the qualifying games for like a
Right.
month or whatever.
Yeah.
So the Sixers Knicks is the NBA Cup. They take 30 teams, split them into 6 groups, and then Tuesday and Friday games are the NBA Cup games, and then the Cup Championship is in Vegas. And I'm on DraftKings right now looking at the NBA Cup odds. So our group, the Sixers group, is the Knicks, the Sixers, the Magic, the Hornets, and the Nets. Who do you think is the favorite to win the Group A?
Knicks?
Knicks are favorite at plus 120. Sixers at plus 170.
Okay.
To win the NBA Cup, the Sixers are 7th. It goes Celtics, Thunder, Knicks, Wolves, Suns, Cavs, Sixers. I will tell you at this point, I don't care if they win the NBA Cup. It fucking counts.
I think it might have to count. Yeah. I think we might be heading towards we're going to count this.
Yep.
We're going to count this as a championship.
Embiid is plus 2,500 to win the tournament MVP of the NBA Cup. Maxey plus 3,000. Where's PG? Plus 5,000. So you can bet the NBA Cup at DraftKings Sportsbook. And if you're a new customer, you bet $5, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's only at DraftKings. You got to use our code, though, RTRS. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code RTRS. That's code RTRS. New customers get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only at DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Got to be 21. See show notes for details. All right. Here is my little bit of optimism here.
And I will say,
Yes.
the optimism is they should win the NBA Cup.
Yes.
And that will count.
It counts. It counts.
I'm going to count it.
Yes.
We have decided
Yes.
after all of this,
Yes.
we're counting it.
Yes.
Everybody's going to agree
As a thing.
that we
in.
count this.
Yes. We count this as the thing that
The
we're happy
banner
about.
should be hung,
Yes.
will be hung,
Yep.
and will be proof of the process's success.
Yes. 100%.
Will be proof
A
of
championship.
Embiid's success.
A championship. A banner hung.
Is there a trophy?
Yes.
And that's winning a trophy to me.
If the Lakers, who have however many championships, can hang a banner for it, we can fucking
Did they hang one?
Yes.
Good.
Yes. It sets a precedent.
And I was ready to set the precedent myself.
No, they've set the precedent. All we're doing, we're just following the precedent.
It counts.
Yes.
And everybody's okay with it. And honestly, guys,
yeah,
we won't hear objections to that.
No. This is not up for debate.
This is not something like, let's hear what you think. Give us a call.
No.
Send an email. No.
Nope.
If you're going to give us a call and send an email, you can only agree. There's one button to press.
Yeah.
833. You can't even like leave a voicemail. You just press a button and then hang up.
Yes. If you disagree.
No.
Oh, just
if you don't disagree, you can't call.
Yes.
If you agree, yes.
Okay. So
it counts and we're counting
face, just hit a button.
After all we've been through?
Yes.
We're counting it.
We're counting it.
And you're counting it.
Yes. We're all counting
counting it.
We're counting. Yeah. Look, we like to be a community where we all decide on stuff. We've done it a million times. Yeah. Every once in a while, the guys hosting the podcast have to set the fucking rules.
We set these.
Yes.
And the rule is we count it.
Yes. Okay. So here's the optimism I have here. Optimism thing number one. Luckily, the Eastern Conference fucking sucks. And the Sixers are, I believe, 2 games or 2.5 games out of the 4 seed right now at 1-6.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The Cavs are good. The Celtics are good. But the Magic are missing Ben Caro for 6 weeks or something. Yep. The Knicks are 3-4. The Bucks are 1-6.
Yeah. The Bucks being 1-6, I just can't thank them enough.
Mm-hmm.
We should, when we made the get well soon card for Markelle,
mm-hmm.
we should make like a thank you card for Doc.
Yes.
Thank you for losing.
Yes.
We all appreciate it. It really helps us.
Yep.
This was very generous of you to be as much of a disaster in Milwaukee, to sign on as a consultant for the team while you were a national broadcaster on ESPN of basketball.
And by the way, Adrian Griffin had a 30-13 record when he got fired.
30-13.
Yes.
And you come in, you come in as a consultant. Your consulting work is pretty much exclusively hire me, I think.
Yes. I could
pitch?
think of a guy. I know a guy might be
hire myself. I'm going to recuse myself from the decision making.
Yep.
But I would hire myself. That's my formal opinion, expert opinion. Yep. And then he comes in. Obviously, they suck the rest of the season, and they suck now. And it's just great. Yep. It's just great to watch, and what a gift it is.
Yep.
For them, for us.
So, Eastern Conference kind of sucks. Here's the other piece of optimism, is that, and this will seem very intuitive. It's not that smart, but it's true. Mm-hmm. Is that once Embiid is back, I know this sounds ridiculous, but once Embiid is back, the Maxey thing is like, is he a good player? Yes, absolutely. Do they need him to finish games? Yes, absolutely. All these things. But in the regular season, the truth of it is, if you put Embiid out there with a bunch of guys, they're going to win. They're going to win at a pretty decent clip. And if one of those guys is Paul George, and you put, like, the truth is that you put Kyle Lowry out there in place of Tyrese Maxey, that is a lot closer in terms of what you need than Andre Drummond is to Joel Embiid.
Oh, yeah.
And we're seeing a little bit right now, and I don't, because people get so sensitive about the Maxey thing, is that literally every time Joel Embiid has been on the court, the team has played like a 50-win team, no matter what teammates have been out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Tyrese is not the same thing. And I do think that while it sucks to have the Maxey thing happen now, it's kind of better that it's happening as Embiid comes back. So I think like if Maxey's back in 2 weeks and they can scrape together a few wins with Embiid in there and Paul George in there and start playing and just calm everything down a little bit.
Sure.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like it, like take.
Oh no, I mean I've always thought
this.
It's just a matter of like
it sounds ridiculous.
No, it's just starting to get late early.
Yes,
because you can't start the season 1-12 and go like it's all gonna work out.
And here's the other thing is, like, I'm not aiming for the play-in or anything, but fucking 10 teams in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
Get in
right
there.
now, the 4-5 in the East is Brooklyn, Atlanta.
It's, right.
Probably not going to hold.
Yes.
But like, I'm not being. It's truly like, what is happening is pretty embarrassing. The fact
Yes.
that they can't run any offense, and also, it's just as like they can't defend anybody either.
Nope.
The amount of that Embiid saves everybody's ass on the defensive end is unquantifiable.
Yep.
And they just don't work that well together. They're not communicating. They don't know where they're going to be. They give up too many easy looks. I mean, the Clippers shot 57% from the field. The Suns shot 51% from the field. They're not forcing that many turnovers. You know, they're not doing anything good at basketball. Like, I'm not saying this is an optimist. This is not like, actually everybody looks good and they should, if you kept this team out there as is, they would win 45 games and it's just going to regress to the mean. I think there'd be some regression, shooting regression, whatever. Although Caleb Martin, like, I don't know what is going on with his outside shot.
Can I just say
his elbow looks like
it's
in
fucking crazy.
physical pain.
I
I would like a comment on that. I would like some answers about what is going on, because his release changes each time, whether he's not jumping at all or jumping very high and then releasing as he's going down. He's always had like a little bit of a funky shot, a little bit of a Lonzo type of thing, but it's wrong now. You can see him like shaking his elbow out. He was 5 of 10 from the line yesterday. That's not normal. Like, something's up, and I would like them to fix it or give him a little time off, because
no time off.
it's weird. No time off?
No, not right now. Can I say though? I did say in the preseason that I thought Caleb Martin was going to be a tough watch, and I was surprised by it. And he's been a tough watch.
No, he's not. The shooting is weird. Look, we can't do it again. We can't do it again. We can't run this storyline back. I'm going to say that like his elbow is injured in some way, and he needs to get it figured out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is not what his shot looks like this. It's not this scattered and random and hitchy. It's
okay.
not.
All right.
But I mean, I've really liked watching him on defense. He competes his ass off. He gets the 50-50 balls. I really like him like catching on the move and going. He's fast with the ball in his hands. Makes a couple nice plays around the rim. Like, he's good. He's been getting the line a lot, which is still kind of crazy. That's not what he does. I'm not worried about him outside of the fact that like, what the fuck is going on with his shot? Okay. Like, that is the only thing. And am I ruling out the idea that a guy from a glamour franchise could come to the Sixers and forget how to shoot? No, I'm not ruling that out.
Is it a what the fuck moment?
Of course not.
If we have a question, is Caleb Martin not being able to shoot? Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. If it's the whole season, then sure.
Okay.
But something is injured. He's really like shaking it out, and he might be shaking it out because he's like pretending to have an injury because it looks weird. Yes. I'm not ruling that out either.
Like when you lose a race to the other kid in grade school and you're losing and you pull up lame at the end because you're like, ow, I hurt my ankle.
Yeah. We've all done it. But I can also, like, my optimistic take is that like I can look at individual players on the team and say, oh, this guy has been doing this thing well in a way that I like and will like. I mean, Yabusele going 5 of 11 from 3 against the Suns, 19, 7, and 6. That's awesome.
He'll be good when Joel's back, because he can play
cool.
4. When he can play 4.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry wasn't good last night, but again, another great game, 13 and 7 against the Suns, shooting great from 3. Eric Gordon's had some moments, can still like do something off the dribble. I really liked what I saw from KJ Martin last night, grabbing and going, can do some of that Ben Simmons stuff, honestly, full court, obviously not the passer, but some stuff. Just get downhill. Ricky was hitting shots last night. McCain has popped here and there. Like, you can just, Reggie Jackson has given us absolutely nothing.
He doesn't want to be on the Sixers.
He doesn't want to be there at all.
No.
I've never seen anyone want to be there less.
No. And we've had some people that don't want to be there. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll maybe
put side by side with Spencer Hawes and see what it looks like. But
there's Karolinko as one, doesn't want to be here.
He never played.
Yes. Well, he didn't even be here, you know. Danny Granger. But I think I think
Also didn't play.
Reggie Jackson
right
is next up.
He's right
yes,
there.
and Spencer Hawes' final game, which Zach Lowe referred to as like a masterpiece of not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Drummond has not been so great still.
Nope.
Still some moments where he's like, hey, just do fucking less, man.
Yeah,
Do a lot less. No reason why you, Andre Drummond, should have 5 turnovers in 15 minutes against the Suns. That's
Can I ask you
insane.
something as you're going through these things?
Yeah.
Is it just fucking over?
No, I don't think it's over.
Okay.
We can't. If I'm not going to let like the start to the season when several guys aren't there be like that's the thing that's over.
Okay.
We've been through too many things that are like, is it over?
Okay.
And it would have been like maybe. I'm not.
Okay.
That's not even. This does not rise to like the top 10 of is it over things.
Really?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I mean, it's not like any of Embiid, George, Maxey have like season-long injuries that is going to impact them for next season yet, at least.
Okay.
Or like they're furious and they're demanding a trade.
Okay.
It's just like it's
talk me up
weird
for that.
bangs up and mistimed things, and they're just not getting on the same page right now. And so even if this season is a dud, which it might be, I mean,
Yes.
they could miss
But the
time,
whole
whatever.
thing isn't over. Just.
But I don't think, I don't think they're this thing. The fact that they're going to all be the same, barring catastrophic injury, which
put it
obviously
it's possible.
could
Yeah.
happen,
Yeah.
has happened. They'll be the same guys next year. So I don't think like there's anything that makes me less optimistic for next year.
And,
I just
and
want to
there
see
have
them
been-
like play together and not. It'd be nice to get to just everybody be there at the same time and start stacking wins and seeing if you can make the playoffs at like 43 and 39, be the 8 seed, win the play-in, play whoever's the 2, which will be. I mean, if that's Cleveland, say it's Cleveland.
Sure. I'll take Cleveland.
That would be obviously not an ideal outcome to have your season come down to like winner take all games in the play-in and then have to play a higher seeded team.
But whatever.
But whatever. You got to beat somebody.
Okay. All
Go
right.
do it.
I like it. All right. I like it.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm just like
Yeah,
you got to
yeah.
just go. Everybody's got to get healthy and do it. But if that's what happens and they win 43 games and they're banged up, but like going into the playoffs they have a little bit of a stride and they're healthy and they have Cleveland and Cleveland's had like their best non-LeBron season ever and they won like 58 games and it's like amazing stuff in Cleveland. And all of a sudden they face the Sixers team that's 43 and 39. We can win that series.
Yes, we can win that series.
And then that would be once again the best team we've ever beaten in the playoffs.
And
Any team they beat will be the best team they've ever beaten in the playoffs.
I feel like we have to address this here and now is that, of course, a lot of people were saying today after the Maxey injury, just tank. Couple things. First of all, Paul George and Tyrese Maxey, it doesn't look like it this way. Too good to tank. And then the second thing is, even if they had the worst record in the NBA, they still only have 18% chance of getting the first pick. Everybody talk about flag or whatever. And then third of all, Darryl would just trade him anyway.
You might not trade Cooper Flag because he's really good and is going to be really good right away and would fit really nicely into that spot.
Yeah.
But if they got like 2 or 3, then yeah. For sure. I don't. That would be an immediate.
They're
trade.
not
It's not
doing
bad,
this.
but
I just want to let everyone know that I didn't ask him this, but I can assure you that Darryl would take his chances as the 10 seed in the play-in
100%.
100 times out of 100 than a 15% chance or even a 10% chance or an 8% chance at the number 1 pick. So
Yeah, or like a 20% of the top 4 or whatever.
yeah.
No, I agree with that. The Sixers owe their first-round pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder because of the Al Horford trade. Thank you, Al. Thank you.
Protected 1-6.
Yeah, and it's protected 1-6, which means that they would have to finish in the top 4 in the lottery to get there. I don't think even if they're not just going to sit Embiid for the whole season now. It would have to be if circumstances
no chance.
forced them to miss time, like if Embiid played and knock on a bunch of whatever and was like just, oh, he's done for the year. Then it would be like, okay, well, let's play it out and be Paul George and Maxey, see them play, do their thing. And then Paul George tweaks something. Then it would be like, hey, Paul, why don't you take a little time?
Take a month.
Then it would be like, okay, but if anybody's healthy, they're going for it.
By the way, I forgot we got this to 833 Lickface. They're already coming in.
Hey, yo, Rory from Mount Airy here, back at it again. So I'm sitting here thinking, we just lost again to the Clippers, and I'm losing a lot of hope. Joel Embiid, the idea that this guy is going to be healthy for an 82-game season and then rock through 28 playoff games potentially just doesn't seem possible. So we just got the word that he's going to be back on Tuesday night for the first Cup game. And I'm wondering if we shouldn't just put all of our eggs in the midseason tourney cup basket. We might not win an NBA championship and be able to parade down Broad Street, but an in-season tourney, a handful of games over the course of a month, over in December, seems like it might be doable, and that might be our best chance for a Joel Embiid-centered basketball team to win any championship. We might not be able to go down Broad Street, but maybe a parade down 9th Street through South Philly
There you go.
could be in the cards.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do y'all think? Non-basketball question.
Oh, shit.
And maybe if you aren't kinky enough, this is
I forgot about
jigsaw, but would you rather get pegged or cucked? See y'all.
I forgot about that part of the voice.
I would say some questions you just go like, we don't need to do it.
Right.
Family show.
Yeah. The rights to Ricky Sanchez.
Wait, can I respond to the
what?
the first part about the cup?
Yeah.
Parade.
Yes.
Have a parade.
We'd
for
have
the
a
fucking
giant
cup.
party. Can I tell you, if we are in the NBA Cup finals, we will throw some giant fucking party and celebrate. Like the only other time I can ever remember celebrating like this is when we got the number 1 pick. That's the way we would celebrate.
We are so cup guys. We are we're cup fans. We're cup pilled.
Always love the cup.
The cup of life.
Yep.
And
we love the cup.
If they lose and don't make the tournament, obviously it doesn't matter and it never mattered and it's all stupid and it's fake if some other team wins. But if we win,
it's huge.
If the Sixers, if the Embiid Sixers go to a Final Four style tournament and advance to the championship of the cup, this counts.
Yes.
And I like the rationale of the caller of going like, the playoffs are too long, the season is too long. Right there in the middle, though,
the cup.
There's a championship for us there.
We want
and
the
that's
cup.
the one we go all in on. And I'm so on board with it.
We're all in on the cup. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by Kornblau and Kornblau, the official law firm of the process. This is officially the last time I'm going to mention this because we got to move back to the regular Kornblau thing and tell you how great they are otherwise. But Kornblau and Kornblau, the premier boutique personal injury law firm in the Delaware Valley, is looking for another lawyer because they're getting bigger. And if there's a Ricky listener or a Ricky listener who knows somebody who thinks they may be a candidate, Kornblau would love to talk to that person. Hiring a Ricky listener would be amazing. The ideal candidate, 7 years experience doing litigation work, preferably medical malpractice, but not necessary. Excellent writing skills, experience taking depositions.
Has he gotten anybody yet?
Interest in doing trial work? Yes, I've heard a couple of stories so far. Actually,
good ones.
One wasn't so great, but I guess what I would say is the person that Kornblau talked to is not particularly qualified. That person.
You got to shoot your shot.
Yes.
If I know one thing about the law, you got to shoot your shot, dude.
You got to be licensed in PA, New Jersey. Good news, it's hybrid. You don't have to be at work every time. You're going to work on civil litigation cases, medical malpractice, accident-related cases, breach of contract. You will participate in all aspects of the litigation from beginning to end. Very competitive salary, if you're qualified, of course. Great health insurance with HSA, 401k, and you get to work with Kornblau. If you are interested, if you're qualified and interested, send an email with your resume to hr@kornblauandkornblau.com. That is HR, which is HR Kornblau. This is one of the Kornblau people. Oddly enough, he's in human resources.
It's amazing.
HR@kornblauandkornblau.com. Be the next Kornblau. And of course, you have to change your name to
Change your
Kornblau.
name, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited to see Joe on Tuesday, I guess. You know.
Should we talk about the 3-game suspension?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And by the way, no team has ever started 1-5 and made the conference finals ever in the history of the NBA.
Let's just be clear. If every team who started 20-0 made the conference finals,
We would not.
we would be like, nah, probably not still.
Yes. Okay.
So
Fair
let's
enough.
just, this is not going to be like the normal way.
Right.
If it's
Okay.
gonna, it might not ever happen. But if it does happen, it's not going to happen in the normal way. So let's not, don't let facts and figures get in your way
Sure.
of thinking that these motherfuckers can finally figure it out.
Sure. The 3-game suspension, I think I said 2 games or 5 games, which is now I said specifically 2 or 5 games, and it was 3.
Weird stance to take.
Yeah, I don't know why I was taking that stance, but it seems about right to me. Not surprised that it happened.
It seems fine. I'm not like pissed about it.
You can't be.
I do think that it's like a little bit like, does it need to be anything?
Yes.
Like if this is it just because it happened in the locker room? Like if a guy at Wawa approached Joe and was like saying shit, and Joel was just like, get out of my face, and sort of like nudged his shoulder aside
Yes.
and walked out, that would be a suspension also?
No, that would be completely different because he's not at work.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
with somebody that works. And
Okay.
can I just
the fact
say
that he
this-
didn't play,
Yeah, no.
is he still work if he didn't
Yes.
play that?
Yes.
Is it like coming in on your off day?
And here's the last thing I want to say, because I know when everybody's telling me that I'm fucking sticking up for Marcus Hayes or something, I know they're reacting emotionally. I just want to play this out for a second of how this could have gone and why it was so bad. So Joel pushes him. It is reasonable to think that guy would push him back. Could have happened. And then Joel hits him or something. And can I tell you, the season's over at that point.
Sure.
It's over. He misses 30 games, blah, blah. That's why.
Well, what's that have to do? That didn't happen though.
I know, but that is why you can't do that. Like,
What if he did that and then Marcus Hayes like took out his dick and was like, what now?
no.
And then what's the suspension? Like it's like anything can happen. It's
Can you
hypothetical.
acknowledge you're being irrational about
No,
this?
I don't think this is why I also hate, it's my same logic that I don't like flagrant fouls
You
that are
can't
like
touch
called
somebody.
so rashly, because you go like, well then in that moment, what if this happened? What
No,
if this
you
other? Then you're gonna
cannot-
do it some more. It's like
you
I don't like
cannot.
roughing the passer for the same reason.
You
Like you're
cannot.
just trying to do. It's a slightly different situation.
You
But you're like trying to do
cannot.
your job, and then like you go a little bit too far.
No.
And then like, what if
You
everything is slippery
cannot.
slope across the board? And I just don't. I don't think slippery slope does a good job of being
Nobody
like
at work.
preventative in that sense.
Nobody at work can react to something that somebody wrote by doing something physical to them.
Sure.
It can't happen.
No, that's fine.
It's against
Fine. Yeah, I know.
It's against. The
But it's a
rules.
little bit like, can't we just be like grown-ups about this and just
Okay,
go
tough
like,
guy. Mr. Tough Guy over here.
no,
Like,
I'm saying let's be grown-ups. I'm saying
Okay.
like, Marcus, you fine? Any injuries? You got a little bit like lightly brushed? It wasn't a punch. All the people there said it was just
well,
like
it's not
kind of like
pressing
whatever.
charges.
Right. So it's just like, can't you just be like, whatever.
No.
It's not nothing. Whatever.
It
It's
just-
fine. It's
these
the same
things
way that
can't
like
happen.
it's the same way that when it becomes there's sort of reviews in basketball and you go like, well, by the letter of the law, like this then this. Can't you just go like, well, like he fouled him, so like let's just say it's your ball. It should be your ball. Like there's a little
foul
bit of the, like we
is-
have to adjudicate every
No,
frame of
Mike.
this. And it's a little bit like
He wrote
Yeah,
something.
yeah, Marcus wrote something that was like obviously heinous and awful, and he should be embarrassed, and there should be consequences for him.
Consequences. He has editors. The
Yeah,
editors
there-
published it.
You're right. We should have called out the editors before which we
Okay.
didn't, and that should have been part of it also. And it should have been like, he's been working. I've said this in the last spot, but he's been working. He hasn't said anything useful in 30 years. Like, why does he? Why? Is
How
he
many
still
of his
around?
articles have you read?
I've seen. I mean, I truly grew up like watching him on those shows on Comcast Sportsnet and
Okay.
seeing him, and he's always just said the same dumb shit. Like I've never read
Which
anything
is
interesting
fair.
he's written. I'm not saying
Okay.
I've read everything, but of the things I've read, it's never been compelling or interesting or quantifiably
which is fair,
useful.
Which is fair, but you can't get physical with somebody because
Can I? If I shoved him a little bit, would I be suspended from the pod?
no, I would not suspend you.
Okay. Well, then Embiid shouldn't either. No, I hear what you're saying. Obviously, 3 games is fine. It's not enough to get worked up about. But I also wish we could just go like, whatever. Everybody's fine. Whatever. If it got worse, then yeah, we would have suspended him more. But it didn't get worse. It's probably nothing.
Final thing
Whatever.
I would say is that if Marcus can shrug off being pushed, then Joel should have been able to shrug off not liking what he wrote. And the last thing I would say is, and I hate to do this, and I think I think I mentioned it with AU or whatever. If somebody from the Sixers has to know that Marcus Hayes is coming in and Joel's in there is pissed off and has to bring them together, or first of all has to go to Joel and say, hey, do you know he's coming in here?
Yes.
And if that's
if your issue was like doing it at work, maybe go to like a Ruby Tuesdays.
Right.
Let's do it at a Ruby Tuesday. Let's buy out a Ruby Tuesdays. Nobody else will be there. You guys can talk. Have a nice dessert. Could
have brought him to another room, let Embiid vocally eviscerate him in another room. And doing it not in front of everybody allows you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden when you're in front of people, it's this whole other thing. So no, and in the chat, I'm not scared a player could push me one day. You guys are fucking morons.
I think I agree with
Who
them.
here has ever been to work?
Spike's
has anyone ever been to work before?
Spike walking around constantly worried about being shoved.
Yeah. Has anyone ever been to work?
His dildo hip can't take being shoved.
Fucking morons. It's just like, holy shit.
I like that.
Idiots.
We should have gotten shoved when we rang the bell. Somebody should have shoved us.
Oh, that would have been fine.
That would have been really funny.
Would have been fine.
Tobias shoves me in the back. I go flying. All of a sudden, it becomes a wrestling match. That would have been great.
Boy. So I'm excited to have Joel back. I'm excited to see him play with Paul George. I thought Paul George looked pretty good in the second game.
Is there some sort of Joel? Sorry, I interrupted you, but is there some sort of like shove celebration that Joel can implement into his as a troll?
I wouldn't doubt that he would.
If people have ideas for shove celebrations for Joel to add into it, sort of like obviously he's got the crotch chop with the suck it, but if there's something else he can add to that to sort of own it, like he owned the process and that kind of thing, I think that might be nice. If he's still Troel, I think he's thinking about it.
Well, he's not always Troel anymore.
He goes back and forth. Sometimes he still does a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Paul George looked good. It was cool. Yeah. It's cool to see him. It's going to be cool when the three of them are playing together. Right now?
Yeah, when's that?
They're
December?
still not.
By the way, it's not going to happen until December.
No, it could happen in November.
It could.
If Maxey's back, let's look at the calendar.
It could.
Who we got? I'm thinking Sixers, Clippers on the 24th.
Which is close to December.
Worlds away from December. It's so much breathing room. Sixers, Clippers on the 24th. All three of them together. I like that Paul George was pissed off about the booze. I was watching
stupid.
I watched the Clippers broadcast from here on delay. And
they were pretty complimentary of Paul George generally, by the way.
Yeah, they were complimentary, but they said that he said something on his podcast that was below the line.
Oh,
or below the belt, I guess.
What did he say?
That it felt like the Clippers were like the B team in Los Angeles, which
they are.
I got to tell you, dude.
Yeah,
they really are.
And honestly, B team is being generous,
and everyone would say that.
Yes,
there's not a person that would not call the Clippers as a franchise the B team in Los Angeles.
Yes, same
just
with
like the Nets are the B team in New York. Like it just is what it is. They were playing at the Lakers arena until this year.
Yes.
Like they are the B team.
Dude, outside of outside of where they played their home games, there was a statue of Kobe.
Yeah. It's just like you gotta when they said that, Alyssa was like, yep. And that's why they're the losers. That's why the Clippers are losers and they'll always be losers. I don't know the Clippers main broadcaster's name, but I like him generally. I
thought they were good, actually.
Yeah, it's him and Jim Jackson.
Yeah.
And the Sixers' own Lauren Rosen, who is there now, which is great. We love Lauren.
Yep.
At the end, the camera, it's like the clock's winding down, Clippers up 15 or whatever. Clock's winding down, and the main play-by-play guy is still like, that was below the belt. So how's it feel, Paul, losing to the B team? And he said that, and it was like, and the Clippers fans showed up or packed arena or something like that. And like, as he said that, it was on Paul George, like walking the sideline to like say hi to people or whatever. And you might have been about to, but the game was still going on, and there was like so many empty seats, like in the first section of the arena. And it was like a packed house. And it was like, they're right there. And he was just like, the booze or whatever. And then Paul called out that was like, yeah, you would expect it to be more of a packed house in their own place, which is like, yeah, it's just that they're not the main draw here.
No, it does suck for them.
Everyone could say that.
Man, if you're Ballmer, how much does it suck to build this, what looks like an outrageously cool arena?
Yeah, I haven't been there. Alyssa loved it. She was like,
and have this team be the team that you're opening it up with. I mean, they kicked our ass, but
sure.
You know.
And look, I'm not saying Harden still looks as good as he did with the Sixers, which is like occasionally very in control of the pace and getting guys open shots.
Can't get to the rim really anymore.
No, he can't.
Yeah.
But he's got that little like shoulder into you 15-footer that seems pretty money. And he's still an incredible passer, and he still gets guys open, and a pick and roll, like, you're just going to have to choose. He's going to make you choose, and he's going to do the other one. It's like very like clinical, scientific about it. Obvious. And he's working on the defensive end a little bit more, getting his hands in there deflection wise, but obviously I still don't think he's someone that we or they should be building around.
No. Hey, CJ, before we have Ksebe and then we have the JJ thing, but I wanted to do the Jerry Colangelo thing first. Could you put that up?
I just don't think why he gets this up. I just don't think like there shouldn't be two teams in the same city. There's so many other like Seattle could use a team. Like there's other cities in America that would love to have a team, and the Lakers are here and people love them.
Yes.
And so you don't need another one. I just don't like that. And I resent it. And now that they're being like, we're not the B team. And it's like, you were literally the second team here and you've never won anything.
And nobody cares about you.
And very few people care about you. So like, you are.
And especially
just go somewhere else where then you're not.
Especially with Steve Ballmer being the Microsoft guy. If anybody could move a team to Seattle and own the fucking town, they would sell out. They could sell out the first 10 years if they moved.
Totally. And the Storm are very popular there for similar reasons. Like, it's a very good basketball town. There's a ton of basketball history there. There's no reason for them to be here. And there's even less reason for them to be like, we're here and we're actually the A team. It's like, yeah, I bet you are.
Mike, I don't know if you saw this, but a Jerry Colangelo statue has been completed.
Thank God.
It looks great. A site has been chosen, but it needs city approval. Make it happen, Phoenix leaders. This is from Dan Bickley of ArizonaSports.com. The headline.
They just like made the statue on spec.
Yep, and now
they're just like, we're just gonna build it, and somebody's gonna put it up. People are gonna want this.
The headline is something to the effect of this guy Dan Bickley says, Phoenix needs a Jerry Colangelo statue. There you go. Now, it does look better than the Dwayne Wade statue. I will give it credit. It does look more like Jerry Colangelo than the Dwayne Wade one does look like Dwayne Wade. I do think...
I think they've done his gut some favors.
Yeah. Yes, he does look more svelte than he does in real life. But I do think if they end up putting this up somewhere, this is a fly the process destination at some point.
Yeah.
So...
Boo a statue? That's pretty good.
The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by another, well, not an enemy of the pod, but an enemy of mine had a bad night last night. We'll get to that in a second. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process. You know, it is November, but before you know it, it will be the summer, and you'll be thinking about renting a beach house somewhere, whether it's Jersey or Delaware. You'll be spending thousands of dollars to stay in somebody else's house for 1 week. I'll be doing that. It's not a great plan. If you think about owning your own beach property in Delaware, Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process, Ksebe, is your best resource. He is the guy that knows about every nook and cranny of the Delaware beaches. You see, Delaware, I go to Jersey. Well, Delaware, better than Jersey, especially if you're going to own it. Way lower property taxes and just as many awesome towns. I would say better. Rehoboth is great. Bethany is great. Dewey is cool if you're young. Lewis is great. As I said, lower property taxes. And here's the thing. Instead of renting it, you could own it, rent it out to other people. They're essentially paying your mortgage, and you use it when you want to use it. Sounds like a fucking awesome plan. But you need a great realtor because buying homes right now is very tough, especially places like the Delaware beaches. The Ksebe team based out of Long and Foster and Bethany Beach, they cover every square inch of Delaware. My wife and I have actually talked about when we finally move back down to the area, maybe Newcastle County in Delaware there, Wilmington area, like it up there, right off of 95. They cover Maryland as well. And if you're talking about Beach House, there's Ocean City, Maryland right now. It really helps to have somebody who knows the area, who knows the market, who even knows the other realtors, knows when things are going up on sale, knows what areas are good. So if you're interested, I want you to give them a call, send them a text, shoot them an email, 302-864-8643. That's 302-864-8643 or adam@processrealtor.com. And if you're looking to buy or sell a home not in Delaware or Maryland, use Adam as your first resource anyway, because he can't sell it for you or buy one for you, but what he can do is in his network of realtors find the exact right person for you. A lot of our listeners have done that. Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of The Process. Okay, so the Lakers start out 3-0. And Mike, if you noticed after the first win or two, there were all sorts of videos on the internet about the amazing sets he was running. It's like, ooh, look at JJ. Look at his fucking set. Finally.
I wouldn't mind, yes, I wouldn't mind running a set or two.
Yes, well, yeah, that's fair. Look at the fucking set. They finally have a real coach. What was Darvin Ham doing? He's a genius. He's fucking Pat Riley. Okay.
Do you know where Darvin Ham is right now?
I have no idea. Where is he?
Doc's assistant.
That's not surprising. So now they're 4-4, and the JJ Redick testiness is coming. In fact, it's here.
It was testing us when they were winning.
Yes. Well, it's getting better. This is... So
I haven't seen this, so I'm excited to watch.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Well, all right. So if you're just listening to the podcast, I want to say this is fine to listen to. It's way better to watch. So if you're on Spotify, I would watch this part. If you don't watch on Spotify, you can watch on YouTube. So, Mike, before we even start this clip, I want you to look at JJ's face.
It's good to have a warm face when you're receiving questions.
Also... And Jack Fritz on our show today pointed this out. I also want you to notice that it's a press conference, but he's still holding his mic like he's a podcaster.
Oh, yes, I do see that. That's good.
Okay. So the Lakers had just lost to the Grizzlies by, I don't know, 20-some points or whatever. They dropped to 4-4. And JJ had said earlier that the only person who tried hard was LeBron. Amazing that the guy he did a podcast with was the guy who tried hard. But this is such a
He would have said the same thing if he was doing a podcast with Rui Hachimura.
Yes, right.
It doesn't matter.
So I want you to notice this completely reasonable question and JJ's reaction to this perfectly reasonable question. All right.
JJ, you're talking a lot about two or three guys, getting them to put in the effort. You talked a lot about wanting to play hard and LeBron being the guy that played hard in tonight's game. How do you address that with the team? What's your philosophy for approaching that?
I just did.
Play it again.
Okay, now I want to say, if you're not watching it, after he said I just did, he puts the microphone down
play it again.
and walks off the dais. Okay.
Play it again.
JJ, you're talking a lot about two or three guys, getting them to put in the effort. You talked a lot about wanting to play hard and LeBron being the guy that played hard in tonight's game. How do you address that with the team? What's your philosophy for approaching that?
I just did.
What does that even mean? This guy fucking
Yes,
sucks.
how do you address it with the team about effort? And he's saying that I addressed it with you here.
Right.
So
but
this is
that
my
wasn't
way
the
of
question.
addressing the team's effort is by
Yeah.
talking to the press about it. That's so good.
Yeah.
What a joy. I did not expect it. What a delightful thing. Just the angriest man on the planet. He finally gets the job that he wanted. He finally doesn't have to answer to anybody.
Yep.
He gets to be his own boss.
Yep.
And he's miserable.
Yep. Well, it's a fucking terrible job.
He's Mr. Personality on every podcast he's ever on the broadcast. I liked him. I was convinced. I was convinced that he was good at this. And maybe he was a happier person then, but the competitive fuckface, the Duke motherfucker in there just wanted to be like, I want to be cranky. Let me be upset. And he finally gets a job where he can do it on Los Angeles' B team.
I just did.
He was thinking the whole time, he's like, maybe he has to like pee or was just sleepy. And he was like, I need a cool drop the mic moment.
Yeah.
So whatever he says here, I'm going to answer it very briefly and then drop the mic and go.
A completely 100% reasonable question. How do you talk to your team about effort?
You've said this.
Yes.
How do you talk about it to them?
Yeah. I just did. He sucks.
That's good.
His face sucks the whole time he's listening to it. Oh, he sucks. Oh,
That's good.
Goodness gracious. This came to 833 Lickface.
Hey, first time, long time. Chris from Jersey. I watched the Sixers through Barkley. I watched the Sixers through Iverson. I cannot watch the Sixers through Maxey. They're going to ruin this kid. It's over. Wherever Maxey ends up is where I'm going. After watching Paul George wave him off, miss an open two, to not tie the game against the Suns, my allegiance is with Maxey. It's not with Daryl. It's not with Embiid. It's not with Paul George. It's not with Nick Nurse. It's not with the history anymore. It's Maxey, ride or die. Thanks for the call.
Well, you called us. I think the problem for him is going to be, he said he's going to like Maxey wherever he is, and he's going to be on the Sixers. So you're kind of stuck with him, I think, is the issue.
Well, I don't think he minds that necessarily. I think he just thinks that like it's going to get bad. I don't think it's going to get bad with Maxey. I think everyone's always going to appreciate him because he's such a good kid that tries hard. And there's nothing he's like so bad at. Even if he's not going to ever achieve, top 10 player heights.
Top 10 player, yeah.
I think he's still always going to be like very good and tries hard and hits shots and gets the rim and is fast as shit and tries on defense. Like I don't think there's ever going to be any Maxey hate. That would be my prediction for his whole career in Philadelphia. But I'm not watching Maxey's first, 7 or whatever games and going like, this makes me think differently about him and his future on the team or his future upside. I feel the exact same. I think they're a team that's built around Embiid, and Maxey is best playing off of a great player like that. And he once everybody's in there and everything, I think he will continue to look as good as he did last year and hopefully keep improving on the margins.
Can I ask you a quick theory? So Maxey's been short on a lot of shots this year. I think a good bit of it is he has to shoot from so far away when he's shooting threes and has to step back so far because there's no Embiid there. I think that's part of it. He worked out a lot in the offseason and he got a lot stronger. And like sometimes when players do that, that it can fuck things up a little bit. Maybe. Like, do you think maybe he got strengthened up a little too much?
Too strong? That's a fun take. Yeah. I would say I'm not thinking that this is going to change things forever. I think he will adjust to it, but I wouldn't dispute that it is.
It could change something.
It could be something to adjust to that he has to figure out and go like, okay, what does it feel like to shoot from this distance? And
like you tighten a little bit. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah. That's why I don't get that strong. That's why me personally, I don't want to get that in good shape.
Yep. Maybe that's why the smoker's arms are an advantage.
Maybe.
Kyrie, fucking pretty shot.
Maybe.
Makes a lot of threes, This came from Bill, writes Ricky Sanchez at gmail.com. Non-basketball question. We haven't been to the bathroom in a while, so I'm wondering about your pooping at work etiquette. I've long been a fan of getting paid to poop, but I also have been known to pretend stand at a urinal if a coworker is present upon entry, and I definitely wait until anyone in there leaves before I exit. but I'm always amazed when a colleague confidently strolls out of a stall while I'm washing my hands. We all poop at work, but the question is, do you avoid having coworkers know that you do? It's a good question.
Yeah, you try to, at least the floor that I'm on, there's the writer's room, there's the production office, and then there's sort of like studio lot personnel type people, and then people just like coming and going and stuff. So there's, I would say, more people I don't know in the bathroom than people I do know. But when, people are making sounds in there, I'm like, I really hope I don't know this one. I don't want to know. I don't want to know that that's what your butt sounds like.
I've done the stand at the urinal until somebody leaves and then go into a stall bit.
I'm sure I have. Not recently, but
Yeah.
I'm a little bit like, you got to go. I'll try to wait until someone that I know has left before
Yes.
I
Come out
let
of there.
loose.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But you try to go like, well, I got to, at least for me and my like, IBS and everything I got going on. Sometimes it is partly mental. So at least when I'm like on a toilet and I'm just like, all right, we're good. We've made it to the finish line. Whatever happens here is totally fine. Unless I'm in like a restaurant with only one stall and then somebody knocks and I'm like, fuck, oh God. Oh no. But luckily here at work, there's 3 stalls, 2 urinals. Wouldn't mind more. No reason not to have 1 or 2 more a piece. But not a huge concern. At the writer's office that we were in before we moved to this office, the one where I was in the screening room when we used to do the podcast after the last playoffs,
Yeah.
there were like individual bathrooms, and so people would a little bit know. It was nice. It's like there's nice, and also it's like I knew
Obvious.
everybody, and what just happened, and they were gender neutral. So like I don't want to all of a sudden.
Girl walks
Someone
in.
comes in, I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, so sorry, so sorry.
It wasn't me. Well, the worst thing is when you walk into one of those, it already smells, and you're like, fuck.
I'm like, yeah.
When I walk out, they're
gonna
gonna
think.
Yeah.
There should be a sign of like this already smelled.
Yep.
There should be like a this already smelled button that you could sort of press and you go like, hey, just so you know.
2 more quick emails. This one is from Burke. Burke here writes rickysanchez@gmail.com. Father of process pug Napoleon, an ornery but devoted little fellow whose half of life was bolstered by his Big Barker dog bed. He had rarely willingly laid in a dog bed before Big Barker, but you could tell it made a difference for him in the years before cancer took him away too soon last year. He rode on it in the country during pandemic road trips as he happily slept every night. Highly recommend. And God bless Napoleon. I have supported the Sixers since idolizing Iverson as a youngster, but I've lived much of my life in Alaska and elsewhere in the Northwest. I've never been to Philly, but plan to come to run the Philadelphia Marathon and catch a game in late November. This leaves me in great need of another recommendation for the pod. Basketball question. I will be unable to appropriately enjoy a basketball game the night after a marathon unless I can first enjoy a very filling meal. Obviously, I have no choice but to enjoy a Philly cheesesteak. Where should I go get one? I would say I am bad now because I haven't had a cheesesteak in many years because I don't eat meat anymore. However, what I would say based on looking at them is Angelo's is where to go. There's a place called Woodrow's that looks awesome too, but I would recommend Angelo's first. It is in South Philly. Pizza looks fucking awesome too. Mike, I know
We've done this before. I like all cheesesteaks in Philadelphia are good.
Right.
And you just got to try a couple and find what you kind of like.
Angelo's looks fucking awesome.
I will today on set. They had like a Philly cheesesteak section, and I'm just like, I can't do it. Can't do it. So I honestly I was like, give me it without cheese and let me put like peppers, onions, and like chipotle mayo on it because I don't even want it to be. It's not a cheesesteak. So
you're pretending it's not even a cheesesteak.
I'm pretending it's like it's a sandwich, it's a steak sandwich with some stuff on it. Like then it can be like, oh, I can enjoy it. And if it's a Philly cheesesteak, I'm just like, come on, don't pretend.
CJ, do you have a rec on that one? As somebody who lives in the city of Philadelphia currently?
Yeah, not really. My palate's generally pretty tame. Like I'll enjoy most things. But Burke, if you see me during the marathon, say hello.
Oh, you're running the Philly Marathon too?
That's right.
All right.
Boy.
I'm coming down. What's the date?
It is in 2 weekends, the 23rd and 24th.
I need people screaming at CJ. I need people screaming at CJ like he's
I'll come
fucking
down.
Elvis.
I'll support CJ and Burke. I'll
yeah.
support CJ and Burke.
I'm
I'll
doing
come down
the Freedom Challenge. So It's
Okay.
a half and an AK on Saturday, and then the full on Sunday.
You're a fucking lunatic, man.
Jesus.
That's right.
Yeah.
A half and an 8K?
Yeah, on Saturday. So it's like 44 miles for the weekend.
That's fucking crazy, man. I couldn't walk for
Don't
like
you need time to like
2 or 3
rest
days after I
between
ran a marathon.
days?
You feel okay after a half.
Yeah, it's 18 Saturday, and then you have the rest of the day off.
Yeah,
and then the
duh.
full Sunday.
You have the rest
18
of the day
miles.
off. Yes, but Mike, you have the rest of the day off after
18
the 18
miles, though.
Yeah.
God bless you, buddy.
That's a young person's thing to do.
God bless you, buddy. Well, there's a lot of old. You'd be shocked.
But to
like
do both,
distance running is
back
old
to
people.
back.
I'm telling you, I would bet there's more people over 40 than under 40 that do it.
Okay.
When I
That's
did
a
my
lifestyle.
50K in May, I ran most of it with a 69-year-old who's ran like over 100 marathons,
Yeah.
which was incredible to like hear his
I
journey.
You
of
guys were
running.
talking during the marathon?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can talk to somebody during the marathon. I ran next to an 11-year-old
breath.
kid in LA, and I talked to him for like the last 3 miles.
I'd
To
be
get
out
you
of
through
breath.
it.
Yeah, it does. And non-basketball question. What are the chances the new Big Three will play? Why is this the non-basketball question? What are the chances the new Big Three will play for the November 25th game against James Harden and the Clippers? Although obviously unpredictable, my hunch is this is fairly likely given that Embiid and PG will only have just begun their delayed seasons, and it is a home game and not part of a back-to-back. Well,
That was the one that I said they'll be back for.
oh yeah, maybe that's the one they'll be back. Yeah. So good luck, Burke.
I don't know that I
And-
love Big Three. I know that that's like the common thing to say.
Yeah, but they're like, yeah, it sounds dumb, I think.
I would like a more specific name
Yes.
than Big Three. So let's think about it. We could find something a little bit more specific than that.
How
So,
about
we'll work on it.
the 3 guys that were $150 million that didn't make the playoffs and never played any games together?
Ring to it.
Yes. And then finally, this is from Sharon, who spells her name Sharyn, which is cool. I've never seen an actual person spell it that way. There's a Killswitch Engage song called Rose of Sharon that is one of my favorite metal songs ever. She says, "Hi, Spike, Mike, and friends. I'm writing from a small town in regional Australia. I'm Sharon, but prefer Rin. I've been aware of you guys through my boyfriend listening for about 5 years now, estimated by just saying how long I've known him. I often chime in with a giggle to point out double entendres. This is a shout out to him, Jake. He's been listening to the rights to Ricky Sanchez for about 8 years. Also, gone back to listen to every episode. And yeah, I'll say the name. My first ep on my own was the recent one about your lore, which was a brilliant intro.
Wow.
He's a huge Sixers fan, a huge Ricky fan, and Embiid is precious to him, and both of them being into similar things, Dragon Ball Z and the like. I didn't know Embiid was a Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, he likes that.
And Sharon says, to me, Jake is the kindest partner I could ever imagine. He's always patient.
Okay, this also costs $100.
Yes.
If you're just emailing
this
us,
is $100, Sharon. Yeah.
if you're just emailing us to just say nice things about somebody,
Well,
you
she
know.
does have a good question. She does have a good question at the end. He's always patient, a source of happiness and calm for the kids that I had before we met, and for me. We have 2 weeks left of 3 months that he's been away training for a new job, a job which will make things easier for our little family, but it's been a difficult time apart. The trajectory of the Sixers amongst the things that have put a damper on coping with the time away, but he's always doing his best, coming back for more weekends than practical to help out. So she loves Jake. There you go. Her question, who do you think would win in a 1 versus 3? Joel Embiid versus Adam Silver, Tommy Alter, and that Celtics GM that was with the Jazz now.
Danny Ainge.
Danny Ainge. So who do you think
Embiid.
wins? Embiid versus,
Tommy's not going to be helpful.
but Danny Ainge could probably still shoot.
Danny Ainge could probably still shoot, but Tommy Alter and Adam Silver are not going to be helpful against Joel Embiid.
But
I'm
couldn't they
picking
just
Embiid.
spread the floor?
Yes, go for it then. I'm picking Embiid.
Okay.
They're not going to get a rebound off of him,
That's a good point.
and they're not going to stop him ever, unless Danny just hurts him, which he
Right.
would do. Tommy would just get in the way. If Tommy touches the ball, Danny Ainge is killing him.
Okay.
And Adam Silver, I mean, maybe he can shoot. Maybe he's one of those like older guys that like
He
can
doesn't
just,
look
can
like
just
it.
shoot with like a weird release.
Man, he's too fucking scrawny. I'm sure the bones would break.
There's a
just
chance.
shooting
I'm
the
not
basketball.
I'm not like confident in it, but there's some guys where you're just like, if you leave them open and you give them all day, they're not missing, and that's frustrating for me.
Sure.
I don't like
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah.
because do other stuff. But if that's the one thing he could do, I wouldn't be so surprised by it. But Embiid's gonna win. I mean, come on,
I'm standing up because my knee.
come on, Sharon with a Y.
Yeah, Sharon. Rin. She prefers Rin. All right. Well, next pod will be Tuesday night after Embiid's debut. Not the debut of the big three.
No,
Yeah.
I will try to be there.
Oh, really?
Well, you should have somebody on hand.
Yeah.
but
Well, AU.
on the off chance I can.
Yeah. AU's going to be there. But
Okay.
I was assuming you weren't going to be there. But
I will have my microphone and
Okay.
hop in if I can hop in. I would love to.
All
I'd
right.
love to watch Joel Embiid play basketball for the Sixers again.
and the 1-10 Sixers.
That's all you need.
1-9. No. Yes. 1-9 at that point. Okay. We'll talk to you Tuesday night. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
No. The next pod is not Tuesday night.
That's what I was
It's
gonna say.
Sunday.
I thought you were telling me something, and I was
No.
literally in the process of deleting it from my calendar.
No, it's Sunday. It's Sunday. Then Tuesday, right?
Should we do Sunday night after the Hornets game?
Yeah, we can do that.
That's probably just the easiest way to do it.
Yep.
We'll talk Sixers Hornets. We'll talk Eagles Cowboys.
Cowboys. Yep.
We'll talk the wedding I was just at.
Oh my God, Sharon's in the chat.
Jesus Christ, Sharon. She has more to say after that email?
She said, "I'll send you a donation. Sorry, ha ha ha. I don't know how, dude. We're just kidding about
Sharon,
the
it's
money.
not really $100.
Yeah.
But if it was $100, your email was long enough, and it would be $150.
Yes.
Just to
and
be clear.
the Venmo is rightsrickysanchez@gmail.com.
The Venmo is
Just kidding.
CJ Coyle
Yeah.
at Venmo.com.
Okay.
Pay CJ
Seriously.
to run for every
Seriously.
mile that he runs this
Yes.
weekend.
Seriously, Sharon, do not send us any money, but rightsrickysanchez
Sharon,
@gmail.com.
Send CJ some money. Buy Norman a toy.
Okay. All right. We'll talk to you Sunday. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah, you know, lick face.